Okay, so um, there is a map of sorts
Hmm.
that's on there. Hot zones, areas that it's hard to know exactly what it's in reference to, but it looks like areas that are being monitored.
Hmm.
Um, one in Vespucci, one in the south side, plus like Legion Square area, bigger zone.
Okay.
One being Zancudo Airfield, one being Polito, one being a small area in Vinewood.
Hmm.
Um, on top of all that, there's one that is directly east of Zancudo Air Base.
Hmm.
Sorry, west and in the water.
Okay.
Given what I already suspect in the location, I'm wondering if that was you know, a delivery.
Yeah.
So,
The only thing that I heard that may be valuable, I don't know if this was a slip up on his part, but the first thing Hassan said when he got underwater was, "That's an airdrop."
what?
Yeah.
But he's been doing airdrops. I've seen him display it to me. But maybe, do you think he meant generically or like me? Oh, but then
That
again, maybe he's seen it before.
that I don't know, right? He was I think he may have thought that, he was out of earshot,
Hmm.
but I don't know if he was speaking, like you said, generically or about speaking about something more specific.
I'm probably gonna let our contact know about it. Probably good
Oh,
to maintain
I'm not
relationships.
I wish I was done. I'm not done.
Oh,
Knight and Frost show up, conduct an investigation.
bro, I
A
have to play
military boat
characters on
with a
both sides.
50
It's crazy.
cal machine gun on the front of it is mounted. Another one comes by, and at this point, my boat gets commandeered, and they go to chase this thing down. My boat, gets disabled from gunfire from the military boat, and then an aircraft appears. Uh, I have no idea who was piloting the aircraft. Um, what I can tell you is that I was on the shore. This person was dancing circles around Air One. They knew that we were on the ground because they came so low that they nearly gave me a haircut. No idea who the person was. Didn't see them after they were done toying around with Air One, but there were at least three military vehicles because we saw it pass by once before the PD showed up in the first place. It's like I'd call it a John boat. It's a very shallow boat
Wait,
with
what the
a
fuck?
single weapon mounted on front. Yeah.
What was their intention? Like, did they seemingly know about this location?
They, yeah, because they came back around three times. They didn't do anything to Helios. They didn't try and communicate to Helios, myself, or Hassan. Nothing like that. They just came very, very close by to the shore. It wasn't until the PD attempted to engage that apparently they didn't like that.
Any description of these individuals?
When we saw the boat come by the first time, it was the middle of the night. So we heard it more than we saw it. The second time I didn't get a good view of the person piloting the boat. I didn't get a view at all of the person piloting the plane. I can tell you it was a sea breeze. Um and that's about it. I want to say it was
Sea
white.
breeze. It's
Yeah.
very rare. I don't think many people have that, other than myself.
Yeah, it was a sea breeze. If I wouldn't have
I'm
known
thinking
any
that
better,
might have been someone's deliveries.
that is what I thought.
And even though it may appear empty, who knows? You know what I mean? Maybe there was a special compartment, right? You never know.
Yeah.
Because empty box is unreasonable, right?
Well, and who knows, right? If the crew did survive, because I didn't see any bodies, right? If the crew survived, it's possible they made away with whatever they were able to salvage,
Oh, true.
right?
Right, parachute out.
Exactly. Now, like I said, given the proximity to Zancudo and the style plane, I immediately thought this had to be Fed, this had to be military. It wasn't until Hassan showed up that I don't want to say I made the connection, but I
Wait,
thought
but wait, when you mean Hassan showed up, run that back because it sounded like you brought him there. Was that wrong?
he called me, and I did bring him there. I think it was strictly coincidence, right?
Yeah.
But when he realized what it was, his demeanor shifted, right? It went from I'm coming out to have a fun business meeting to a much more serious tone. And he was running off in the distance, taking phone calls as opposed to, coming out to have our business meeting that we were planning on having. So
OPSEC, something to keep in mind, right?
Yeah.
His follies can can imprint themselves on you.
Mhm.
Not that I would say like in lieu of San Andreas he did anything wrong, right? The fuck does he care about the mayor's office, your image, etc., etc.? He's gonna take the risk if he thinks it's a fucking gun shipment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it wasn't until I realized that this could have been something other than the feds, right? Other than the military. When I got the feeling that it could be a drop, like you said, right? A delivery. And that's when I made the conscious decision to withhold information from the police.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Not that they would have done anything with it. If we're going to be honest.
One last thing. After the situation resolved, I say resolved, after I left the area, a text message went out from someone named the Oracle that just said Jetsam. Jetsam, if you're unfamiliar, it's the airplane version of flotsam, basically stuff that's been discarded from a plane.
There's more to that.
I was told that there's a building as well.
There's a lot of buildings. Jetsam is a global company dealing with imports and exports.
Okay.
Some illicit, some otherwise.
That I did not know.
It's also, remember the surveillance panel that I have access to. There's photographs of it.
Okay.
In other words, this may be one of the, this company could be providing clearances, like think about it,
Yes.
because you got to be able to navigate away from the docks, right? They got to land somewhere, get through, federal, like naval ships or whatever. Whatever the fuck we got treaties with. How do you do that? We need fake paperwork.
Sure.
The Jetsam might be providing those services. All I know is it's being monitored. And they got like cameras over there.
Okay.
Probably for protection purposes. And with the Oracle, and I know we've wanted to dive into this for a minute ago, and there's a lot that I want to... Anytime we got time, you got to go. I'm sorry, Michael. It's like not your fault, but it's just timing. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring you out on a little stroll one day, show you some other connections. Because they're connections in that, like, they're not even connections. They're like droplets of information that I don't know what their relationship is with everything. But if, like I said, if I were to take a wild guess, they're probably providing intel, paperwork, whatever to make our business partner and his, assets, their life easier,
Yeah, enable them. Yeah.
Exactly. And the Oracle is, from my understanding, on negative terms with them. So I've been looking into that for like a kind of a bit of a minute, not too much. And I warn you, I would not bring up that name very often, especially if you're looking into it or ever think you will.
Yeah.
Because you don't know who's working for who. Type shit. But in saying that if I were to guess, it sounds like this organization, person, etc., may have, might have been the reason that ship blew up.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. Now, you'll have to forgive me. I'm not going to go out of my way to look into any of this. That's your domain.
Observe. And I'm not saying you shouldn't. I want to make sure that you're prepared first.
Yeah. As things don't feel right, I will bring them to you.
I think that's a smart way of doing it.
Yeah.
Kicking myself a bit. I wish I had told you some of this stuff sooner, so that when you did see that plane, you're like, "Oh, Hassan, we're busy." You know what I mean? Like that. Those kind of intuitions. They're. But to be honest, the part of the problem here is, Michael, I don't have answers either. I just have like scraps and notes that I know are somewhat related, but not necessarily knowing the how.
Right.
On the bright side of things, it's not exactly our concern, but it is our concern type thing. It's our concern in that it's like an unknown, right?
Well, I guess if anything, you remember the last time something like this happened. Granted, it happened in Los Santos County, and it was a problem for you because you weren't made aware of it.
True.
I know not everything is our business, but when a large military aircraft is flying into the airspace.
Okay, it is our business in that respect. That's true.
Exactly.
I'm forgetting where the fucking mayor's office.
So that's, I guess that is still a problem.
I think part of it is like who, right? Fucking talking to Doc is fucking useless.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I wish he wasn't. He's just non-existent. Fuck, I wish we still had Barrett. You know what I mean?
Yeah, where's he been?
He's retired.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
At least for some time. He's got a lot of things he's got to deal with out of overseas, and so
yeah.
trying to balance his time.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to think if I've left any loose ends, but I think I've given you everything I have. Was there anything else that we needed to talk about urgently? Otherwise, I need to step away for about 4 hours.
I don't think so.
Okay.
We definitely got to sit down and deep dive. Hopefully soon.
Yeah. Tomorrow.
I think we need to talk about Jason too. I appreciate everything she does, but she's kind of like Junior in the sense that she's mostly thinking about what she needs.
Yeah.
And I don't like the fact, moonshine, fine, but now it's pharmaceutical and subsidies. Like, we're not here to just line your pockets, right?
Yeah, I know.
Especially fresh off what happened with Bruce. Obviously, that was still her dog. You know what I mean? So there is that concern there. So that's further context as to why I wanted numbers, because it's like she still should have been watching over what Bruce was doing. I should not have had to come there because at that point, she wasn't responsible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which, at the same vein, look, ports needed a 2.0, so like it's very weighted. It's like there's still some ownership and some fault there, right?
Sure.
But she was also busy, so I can look past that. But like this is saying like, hey, by the way, while we just got off the back of this, let's all talk about, because it's her and Billy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't want to just do it so we're like, okay, you know, 3 people can be successful. What does it mean for everything else? Like, who else is it helping?
I mean,
yeah.
Go ahead.
And that's not to say Oxy shouldn't be legal, but we don't even know if it's like 2,000 versus 1,000. We don't even know what percentage of the city. It's just like off a whim type shit, right? Because materials, at least, we don't know. We don't know.
I'm gonna ask you just a very honest question. Do we care where the pharmacies are sourcing their moonshine from?
No. That's literally can be investigated. They're doing it illegally.
Right. So this is one of those things where I worry we're making work to solve a problem that doesn't exist.
It's over. Exactly. Right? And that's why for me, this reads like a need for Jason and Billy or whoever more than it is a need for everyone else. Right? It's like a shield for an illegal business. Like, listen, and that's not to say these things aren't needed, right? But once again, who needs it?
Yeah.
Like, let me ask you something. Who the fuck is buying moonshine right now?
No one.
No one has liquor licenses, brother.
Yeah.
There's one. It's a liquid library. Right?
Does Blarney's have a liquor license?
The same one that had like tons of materials. Like, listen, I ain't blind, right? But like, it's kind of one of those like, listen, you're getting enough. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I don't want to waste my time in that direction. There's much more significant, serious things than lining a couple people's pockets, especially when no one asked for it. Right? No one's asking for it. No one, as in generally speaking, because no one's producing it. Why are we talking about subsidizing?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? It's like very obvious what's happening.
I mean, between you and me, I know that Helios did have a conversation with Jason about this because I think this is where she got her numbers from, right? What they need to buy it at for it to break even. But again, between you and me, in lieu of us legislating anything, Helios has found a way to make it work for him.
Of course, I don't. Right? Like I said, even with the numbers that were provided, you're talking about like a 3x cost. But that's legal, so you can literally stock it.
Right.
And people who are buying it legally can do so. And if you're looking to sell it under the table, you can do so as well.
Right.
And let's be honest, if you're actually in the business of like, this just sounds like free money, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I will tell you right now that, and I trust her like a lot. Her, what's her name? Tali. Tali Mox and I have we had a very bad relationship. Now a really good one.
Yeah.
She's shown me her farm. They're able to crank out fucking veggies like no tomorrow.
Yeah.
So where's the cost going? Right?
Yeah.
Tali can literally sell 10 batches for like nothing.
Like a
so there's other areas it can be solved, right?
100%. 100%. Yeah.
Moonshine isn't exactly like it's to me, moonshine and the Oxy stuff is like a cool side thing, right? But there isn't like a demand like car parts and materials and whatever. Those things or like PD, repair costs, those things I can see subsidizing. It's just we're talking about like 1% of the market.
Right.
Where I'm going with all this. And I think it's important for these businesses to try to make it work first.
I agreed. Yeah, agreed.
So
and that's, at least for Helios, that's exactly what he did. So I say all power to him. And if it becomes a problem a couple months down the road, that's a problem then. But let him try. That's kind of my opinion here.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah. I've got a handful of minutes, so.
I'm just thinking about getting off this thing. Just me.
Yeah.
Woo! Here we go, boys. Nearly 3 miles. I love that I made this a part of my routine. I get all this work done and get a nice exercise. Cranked out a nice 8,000 steps. All right. Bro, this is the best life decision I've made in a minute. Given that it changed nothing other than I sound, I don't know, I have a different tonality, right? I had to tell Turner yesterday, I'm not pissed and overworked about this. I'm just actually getting my body overworked. So, my huffing and puffing, just FYI, is not because I'm frustrated, but because I'm, banging through.
Yeah, you have to send me details. Send me some sit stand legs.
Some what?
I recommend sit stand legs. Make my desk move. You know what I mean?
Oh yes, there's 2 companies that I recommend. I'll send it your way. I'm not sure if I'll send you a whole thing. Okay, so going back to it, I want to support Jason, obviously. However, that doesn't necessitate that we're just handing her the keys to the world, right? And I think that's kind of where I think we're at with things, kind of. I think, I think that's a good way to put it. So, shit, what were we just talking about? Right. Court center's looking good. I've got numbers. I had a guy, I have ACDC trying to fucking solve, fucking Excel sheet bullshit and probabilities while my eyes are open, like it just straight up. It's just very difficult because I get distracted with a variety of opinion, let's just call it. But anyways, I should have something done like later this evening. I think our, the team we're working with overseas is getting closer with the court center. Fucking bet is crunching really fucking good. Like, it's unbelievable. And I genuinely think, regardless of what happens, right, in 6 weeks, we're going to be in good space. I do think we need to preemptively put at the forefront an avenue for bar certified attorneys like us being out of the government, having a means to force change. And what I mean by that is, how do you put forth a bills? You know what I mean? And I think maybe, but not in a way that takes away power from people, but rather it's an alternative route outside of impeachments and shit. Like, okay, example, Alana wants to run. Alana becomes the mayor. Should the county be run, in her vision, 1,000%, right? But Alana probably is uninterested in even 30 minutes of this kind of conversation, right?
Yeah.
And there may be critical things that she'd rather ignore. How does one go about producing a change that the people can then vote on which is an avenue the governor mentioned, right?
Referendum, yeah.
And I think we should do that. And that referendum can be, I think, is more aimed at statewide.
Yeah, I agree. Are you still on the wavelength that there should be a state level legislator position or positions?
No, I think that our population isn't ready for it.
Okay.
I think our population is cooked on a lot of things, and I think it's cooked by bad actors. If I'm going to be honest, right? All the skipping literally burned everyone out. It did for the past year. I'm just going to say it straight. The post myself getting elected, then Pred getting elected, and it's there's no like look when you look at the facts, it's those things made massive fucking negative impacts because there was so much no skip. Like, in other words, you had to do the extreme to actually exercise. I mean, fucking Pred got fucking, like, literally got a warrant that day, and then they rated his shit and then said, who gives a fuck, right? Let him wait, right?
Yeah.
That literally paused the entire city minus some fucking douchebags. Like, and so the reason I say that is that is a big reason why I think people are afraid what's going to happen when we leave, right? Or you run, right? But let's just assume you're not, just for a moment, for sake of argument, because I know it's still is that's why I think people are afraid, because they see the good, and with us not being there, will the system continue to work? And I think it's important that we leave a legacy where it can continue to work.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's the real legacy. It's not even courts. Courts was us. It wasn't what was inside. And that's how you can tell the difference when it's being managed by us versus when we gave someone the keys.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
It's us that are the value. And that us can be in a law firm and the investment company. And as long as those avenues exist, just like anyone can put a prop together. And maybe that's what it is that everyday people should be able to push some semblance of a prop up.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, you can present something to the mayor. They either have to accept, deny in some time frame, and if it doesn't do X, Y, and Z, you can push it forward. And there probably does need to be some sort of checks, right? So you can remove any frivolousness. But
Let me think on it. I have a lot to think about in this space.
Absolutely.
How we go about doing that. I have a lot to think about my own future. 6 weeks from now. So I do want to be able to give you an answer on that, so we can actually talk about it.
Absolutely.
Let me take.
Might
a
be
little
too
nap
early
here.
too, Michael. To be honest, I
What's
think
that?
it might be. I think thinking about it is good, but don't feel like you have to make a decision. You got time. You know what I mean? A lot can change in 6 weeks.
100%. Yeah. Okay, let me I don't know, commune with nature here for about 4 hours.
There's another thing I want to mention, right?
Please.
If you run 5.0 might not come out for another 3 months. You know what I mean?
You think I'd delay it?
Yeah, you might be delaying it, bitch. Like, let Alana become mayor.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Just let her become mayor then.
I'm kidding. No, don't. Hey, I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding, Michael. Yeah.
All right, I'll give you a call when I'm back.
Yeah.
Okay.
You think? Yeah. Oh shit! Yeah, I think regardless, I think we should be leaving things, because I think we should be driving in a direction